Hello, we are so excited for you to be here with us tonight to learn about habit 1, which is be proactive. I am your tour guide Benton here, and I'm so excited for you to be here with us, and I would love for you to meet
Tour Guide Rotai. I'm ready.
All right, so we'll have throughout the night lots of questions for you to answer. All the answers to the questions put in the comment of the Facebook Live, and we'll be responding to them. And if you have any questions at all, just put that in the chat.
And we are also super, super excited to share some sweet spring break staycation ideas.
Let's discuss the first habit, be proactive. You are in charge of your brain and your heart. This habit gives strength to every other habit. Now let's get started with a fun demonstration. Imagine these are two people and they are driving next to each other down the interstate in the right-hand lanes when a guy in the fast lane cuts across into the right lane and zips away, cutting them both off and forcing them to slam on the brakes to avoid crashing into one another. Now, how does this person act? Yes, he explodes, he fights, he gets mad. His behavior is reactive. Now, how does this person act? Yes, he's calm. He stops before he acts. He's proactive.
Awesome. Well, welcome back. So what is the difference between a person being proactive or reactive? Let's write that in the comments and we'll give you some time. You're right. One stops to think and chooses to be calm while the other just reacts to the situation without thinking. It's way better to be proactive.
Absolutely. And you know what else we want to talk about right now is some of our spring break ideas that we've been thinking about. So when we were coming up with some staycation ideas, we thought, what can we do around town, around our houses? We thought about you could be a tourist in your own city of Fort Pierce or Port St. Lucie.
Yes!
Go to the beach.
Oh my gosh. Wear your sunscreen.
Yes.
Wear your sunscreen.
Yes. Walk around historic downtown Fort Pierce. Absolutely.
Oh, and there are so many beautiful art pieces downtown. The Peacock Arts District is so close. Oh, beautiful pieces of art everywhere.
Gorgeous. You could take a nature walk in the Savannah's preserves.
Oh my God. I just walked down there last weekend and I saw an alligator, a little baby one. Oh my gosh. So be cautious.
Yes, absolutely.
Keep your eyes open.
And also you could go fishing.
Oh, I love it. And if you catch any, I would love to come over for dinner. No, I'm just kidding.
All right. Let's get back to it.
And we're
going to cut to another video.
Yes, let's get started.
Like the soda bottle person, reactive people allow outside situations to control their actions. They get angry, blame, or say things they don't mean. This can impact their children, family, and friends. In comparison, proactive people work from a paradigm that they are responsible for their happiness. They choose how they will act and respond to other people and circumstances.
Let's watch a video about carrying your own weather or being proactive. When you carry your own weather with you, you can choose to be consistent regardless of how people treat you.
Monday morning, and it's raining. A gray, melancholy day. On a day like this, maybe we can be excused for feeling gray and melancholy ourselves. We get into a mood, and the whole day seems to go badly. Don't you feel better when the weather outside is great? But what if you could carry your own weather within you? What about the social world we live in? Don't you feel better when you're treated better? That's being reactive to what we could call the social weather, the social culture. When you carry your weather with you, you can choose to be consistent regardless of how people treat you. That's what it means to be proactive. Being reactive is the opposite of being proactive, not taking responsibility for our own life. You always see yourself as a victim of the weather, of your moods, of someone who has it in for you. Habit 1 is based on the principle that your life is the result of your own decisions, not your conditions, not what's happening around you. That's why Habit 1 is so foundational, so basic. Unless you practice Habit 1, you can never practice the other habits of highly effective people. Years ago, I was doing research in a library in Hawaii. While thumbing through a book, I came across an idea that changed my whole outlook. The author said something like this: between what happens to us, that is the stimulus, and our response is a space. In that space lies our power and our freedom to choose our response. And in those choices lie our growth and our happiness. This insight sunk deep into my heart. Even in the midst of challenging circumstances, we have this exhilarating power to choose how we will respond.
Let's write your response in the chat. Yell, hit, throw something to take more control of our response. The first thing to do is pause. When we pause or we push the pause button, we are creating space between what is happening and our response. When you feel angry, what are some ways we can pause? Let me know in the comments below. That's right. You can count to 10, right? You can remove yourself from the situation and put on some relaxing music.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Oh, yes. Right. So maybe Hawaiian music.
Hawaiian music.
Get you in ready for spring break. Now, remember, if you have any questions or comments for your tour guides here, just put that in the chat. And now let's cut back to some videos.
Let's think about this quote from Dr. Covey. Between what happens to us and our response, there is a space. In that space lies the freedom and power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our happiness. When you are proactive, you can control your own actions, moods, and thoughts. In contrast, when you are reactive, you react to what is happening and make choices based on your moods and the situation. You do not use your freedom to choose. Let's look at the 3 steps to take more control of our responses in an angry or emotional state. When we are in these types of situations, what do we want to do?
Awesome. Welcome back. So we've had some great comments in the chat about how we can reflect on ourselves. One of them was meditating. I love a Zen moment. Love a Zen moment.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So when we're talking about spring break and meditating and thinking about things that can relax us and keep us in that state of peace, what are some of the things that you're thinking about doing over spring break?
Oh my gosh. I think I'm going to give myself an at-home manicure, have a little spa moment. Just put some nice music, maybe some cucumbers. Just really relax.
That self-care.
Yes, so important right now.
You know, there's a lot of other things that we're thinking about we could do with our families. Like one of the things that I've seen and I keep wanting to try is making my own backyard theater with a little projector.
Yes.
Yeah,
oh
right?
My gosh. Yes. I would love to. My backyard's pretty small, so it wouldn't be that great of a theater, but
that's okay.
I think, work with what you got, man.
Trying out maybe like a new recipe or like cooking with your family and maybe even camping in your backyard, since I know some of the spaces are limited as to where we can go right now.
And the weather's supposed to be beautiful next week, so why not? Why not?
Absolutely. Oh, and games. We love games. We love games.
I love a game.
We're the best at trivia. There'll be more of that to come at some point.
Yes, more trivia coming from your tour guys.
But let us know what you think in the comments about what you're possibly doing for spring break. And if you like any of these ideas, then we're going to go ahead and cut to another video.
Taking time to pause can be powerful. Since none of us have a pause button, let's create one. Okay, reach up and touch your forehead. This is your pause button. Close your eyes with me and clear your mind of everything. Think of a place where you can be alone, a place without interruptions. Focus, breathe deeply, and open your mind.
Let's look at the second step of taking control of ourselves. Think. Pausing gives us time to think. We can think about our values and choices and the consequences of those choices. Let's practice. Pretend a family member says something mean about you and you get angry. What are reactive responses we could have? What are some proactive responses? What would the consequences of the choices be? Step 3 is choose. After taking time to pause and think, we are in a better position to choose a proactive response. Reactivity affects families. We experience fear, anxiety, and loss of confidence when we experience family members being reactive.
Let's look at this quote from Dr. Covey. The key to your family culture is how you respond to one who tests you the most. This suggests how you treat yourself and others plays a very important role in developing a nurturing family culture. To develop proactive muscles, we can exercise the 4 unique gifts that all humans can enjoy and use. The 4 unique human gifts are self-awareness, conscience, imagination, and independent will. Self-awareness is our ability to pull away and examine our own thoughts, moods, and behaviors. Conscience is that voice speaking of right and wrong, our moral compass. Imagination is our ability to visualize beyond our current experiences and present circumstances. Independent will is our ability to act independent of external influences. Developing and using these gifts, these muscles, gives us the ability to be more proactive. This enables us to create new futures for ourselves and our family. Let's compare the 4 gifts as viewed by proactive versus reactive. Who do you think gets more out of life, the proactive or reactive person? Who do you think gives more to life? Definitely the proactive person.
We are going to now discuss an impactful way to identify and focus on what we can control in our lives. The outside circle represents all the things that concerns us in our life, but we cannot influence or control them. The weather, for example, is something that may concern us, but we cannot control it. The inner circle represents all the things that also concern us in life, but we can influence or have at least some control over. The lives of our family members is something we can influence. Can we control our family members? No, but we can influence them. What, if anything, can we absolutely control? Ourselves. The only thing we can truly have some control over is ourselves. That's where proactive people focus significant energy and time. We cannot control everything in our lives, but we can control our own personal choices, attitudes, and thoughts.
These 2 illustrations indicate what happens to our influence and trust with others when we are reactive or proactive. What happens to our influence when we focus our energy on things outside of our influence or try to blame others for our mistakes? How does trust change? Our influence shrinks and our trust decreases. Proactive people choose instead to focus on their circle of influence, especially on controlling their own actions and choices. What happens to our influence when we focus our energy on things inside of our influence or take responsibility for our actions and mistakes? What happens to our trust? Our influence expands and trust increases.
Focusing first on what we can control, ourselves, is what is called an inside-out approach. Let's look at this quote. By taking an inside-out approach, you become a leader and a powerful force in establishing your family culture. Let's look at one more quote to wrap up habit 1. The decision to become the creative force of your own life is the fundamental choice of all. It is the heart and soul of becoming an agent of change in your family. Thank you so much for learning and working with us on Habit 1. Be proactive.
Oh, well, it looks like our tour is coming to an end.
Sally, but we have some more spring break ideas for you before we go. We've had just such a wonderful time talking to you about Habit 1, be proactive. And in my class, we talk about how you're in charge of your brain, in your heart. And if you are proactive, then you are in charge of those things and you carry your own weather.
Oh,
Speaking of weather, the spring break weather just around the corner.
It is, and it's supposed to be beauteous. It's supposed to be sunny. And you know what? You have to make your own sunshine too. Make your own weather, like you just said.
Yes.
So it's only the cast way if we add in some artsy ideas, of course, for your spring break fun. We were talking about, of course, as we integrate arts over here and we stop and steam all day, we're talking about things and projects that you can do at home. Possibly we talk about painting, we talk about sculpting, drawing, singing, one of my personal favorites, singing karaoke.
Oh, yeah. I'm terrible at it. Terrible. But I still try.
Learning some new dances, utilizing TikTok.
Oh, my gosh.
Sure.
And they're pretty easy.
Yeah.
I've learned a few moves on the playground. I have.
Now, one of the big ones that we talked about is doing your own scene improv cards with your family, playing charades. Yes. You can print them offline. They're super simple. And you can create your own scenes and scene starters at home. Also, one of the big ones in my classroom that the kids love to do is they love to make their own flip book.
Oh, so fun. So get the whole family involved. Everyone make their own flip book. Everyone play charades.
We love it.
Proactive families are the best kind of families. Cast families are the best kind of families.
And we're so happy you could join us this evening.
Yes, thank you so much. And if you have any questions from your tour guides, we're always here to help you. Thank you. Have a great night.